Hey guys, welcome back. Today I just want to go over really, kind of laid back video about different ideas and things we can do for hard times that may be coming as far as, you know, we didn't have electricity or preserving different things or, whether it's in the heat or if it's in the wintertime or different things like that. But mainly also, and I'll go over with some ideas that I do or I plan on using and things like that. And also, I want everyone to put in the comments, share any, tips or ideas or things that you do use or plan on or anything like that or may have, be, I mean, don't give out so much information. We still have to be safe on these platforms or whatever. But so different things, we talk about doing, keeping, you hear my chicks, they're really loud to me. So hopefully they're not causing an issue in the video. Um, as far as like say the grid went down or we didn't have electricity, everyone isn't set up for solar generators or there's maybe different things. So I talk about different things like that as far as keeping things fresh longer or having things that are cooler. There is a thing, and I think Amish, this is also how they do it. I've heard a lot say that is like you take a deep freezer or a stand-up freezer, or they'll even get like broken refrigerators and they would get ice and put them in there. Or you can freeze water, have water bottles frozen and keep them in there, or get like a 5-gallon bucket and have that filled with you know frozen all of water, or put ice in there and put it in those deep freezer or something, and it'll keep things cooler. Put some type of insulation, a quilt or something over that to help that. Also, that's always an idea. If you are blessed enough somewhere you do or can have a root cellar, so many benefits, not just keeping your food fresh and cool, but I mean, you can go down there when it's too hot and cool off. And also, there's a lot of things, if, different things came to pass in the world, it's a lot of times it's safer down in a root cellar. So if you can have that, that is wonderful. If you can't, if you're somewhere you can't, or you're, unable to do that, is the little DIY mini root cellars where you just take like a metal trash can and you bury that like up to the lid and you put things down in there. So, the earth helps keep things cooler. And then make sure you put something over, the lid to give that an extra insulation so the sun's not beating down right on it. Those are, ideas to do. As far as we do like gardening or, butchering, hunting, fishing, so many generations before, they did that as they went and they brought home dinner, right? And they did it. So you didn't have this thing. That's how they lived. That was the norm and other times. And we didn't pack our freezer full of meat and, we have to keep it cool. Those are ideas. So you butcher one of your animals or you go hunting or fishing as you need it. And then you don't have to worry about that. So different. I wanted to show you something. Some of y'all may already do it or know about it, and that is water glassing eggs. I use just pickling lime and water glassing eggs. Now with that, I have to give warnings. It can only be fresh eggs, like farm eggs. They cannot be washed or like really dirty. You can't wash it to get, even if it has something on it from, the hens or anything like that. And you can't be like store-bought eggs or anything because those are washed. But water glassing, I'll leave some things in the description. And you can find a ton of things on water glassing online also. But when you water glass, you do this with water. You do it in a big container. It could be like a 5-gallon bucket size. It could be those really giant type pickle jars or anything like that. And, you can water glass your eggs and they can last up to 2 years like that. Shelf stable, as long as they're stored correctly in a cool, dark place. Don't put them right in the sun or the hottest part of your house. They'll last a long time. Great idea, especially if you have laying hens, because also, with chickens, they don't lay as much in the winter months. And sometimes, depending on where you live, that slower or, kind of pause laying season can be a little longer or different. Yes, some people say, oh, you can do like light therapy and different things to keep them laying. Me personally, I don't interrupt or change nature. There's a reason that they have that break and that goes on. I don't personally do that. I don't believe in doing that. You do what you want to do, but I don't mess up my cycle. So with that, when you don't get as much in the winter, you have these eggs. You can do different things. There's different ways you can do freezing and preserve eggs different ways. But that's an idea how like something that I do. And speaking of that is preserving food. Do that now, like in growing season when you have bulk, or if you buy bulk of something or your gardens, whether it's canning or, dehydrating, fermenting stuff, salt curing stuff, any of that. Learn to do those things and start doing those things now so you'll have food to go to when, something goes down. You won't have to, and things like that, you're not going to have to worry about, I have to keep this cool in my refrigerator or freezer. Those are ideas. And in the winter time, utilize that cold and put things outside. They did that in the Great Depression. That era, I study that. I encourage everyone to study that era time frame in different times on how they survived. Kind of similar in a lot of ways what we're coming into. Learn those things, but they would do that. They would keep food outside and something that kept critters and elements off of it. But the metal trash can, I get several different sizes of those. I mean, even my Faraday cage back there is one that's, and I have bigger ones. Utilize it. Put stuff outside in one of those in the wintertime. It'll keep it cold. Let me see. I've got my list here. This. Oh, and also in the hot months, I'll do this now anyway, especially if you live in the South or whatever, is if you in the really hot seasons, and they did it way back whenever, is you make sure you cook outside so you don't have that extra heat trapped in your house. I have those great things you can cook over, fires, whether you do grills, however you do it. When it's really hot, utilize, do those type of things outside. Do it opposite in the winter. If you have a fireplace, I have a wood stove. I cook on that, do different things in the winter, which brings in extra, heat into the home. Also, always recommend getting good books. I love books, hard copies. Do that now. I always talk about that. Do your hard copies now, whether you have to print something or make sure you're writing it down or you're buying books, however you have to do it, because this won't be, and you're not going to be able to click and just go find something. So like different books. Oh, and also about, keeping heat and stuff out, as I've talked many times before, is keeping your drapes and things closed. Keep that sun out. It makes a huge difference if you block the sun out for keeping, the temperature in your house from getting so hot from all that. So, as far as like books and stuff, I recommend people getting, foraging books for your region, your area. They're different. It's all over. Like a lot of times I talk about things and then people are like, I've never heard, I don't have that in my area. I can't, and that's just what it is. It's different areas, but please print off things for your region, buy a book or something, foraging on, doing that safely. A couple books. Everyone knows MD Creekmore. I've had his book for a long time. This is a great little book. This has so many, so much information, different things. Great book. I recommend that. This butchering. You need to know how to do these things. I don't care if you don't have a farm, whatever. Who knows? You may have to go out hunting, fishing. You may end up whatever, trapping. You're going to need to know how to do those things. I've talked about that before. Again, study different time areas when they went through things and how they survived. I love this book. We Had Everything But Money. It's about the Great Depression. It has tons of different, information and stories and just different things. I love this book. There's one thing in here. I mean, can't see it really, but this little gray area here, and it has a menu show how a woman fed her family on $1 a day. Yes, $1 a day. This was in 1934. But they went through different things. I mean, and that's another thing, you have to train your mind and body now. I've talked about this before. Don't have meat every single time. You need to start eating the way some of your preps are going to be, or, if you're cutting down how many meals you have a day or snacks, or you need to start, getting used to those things and your family used to those things now. So it's not an abrupt cold turkey if something happens. But I did want to say on day 8 right here, They had vegetable salad, baked potatoes, and apricots. I bet they ate their seeds. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, different ideas off of each other. Please give me anything in the comments, that you do or ideas. I want to do that. This is kind of a community video because I want to see and I want everyone to share. If you're comfortable, again, be safe. Don't give out too much information that would, keep your privacy or whatever. But I think that would be good for everyone and myself to see. Everyone stay well. God bless. And I will see you next time.